What are some of the best foods for the keto diet?
All right, so these are some of my absolute favorite keto foods. So coconut oil and MCT oil, and MCT oil being a component of coconut oil, of course. So coconut oil is a saturated fat, which means it's going to be solid at room temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And it has naturally occurring MCT oils. So that's one of our, when we're going to make eggs, which I should mention is another great keto food. There's all kinds of health benefits and things in eggs that make it healthy, but we'll cook it in MCT oil or coconut oil.
Yeah. Or avocado oil.
Yeah,
Just
or
depends.
avocado oil. Go ahead.
Which brings us to our next one, which is avocados. Everybody loves avocados. It's kind of the unofficial, besides bacon, like avocados are the unofficial mascot of the keto diet, right? I think I saw ketogenic.com had this great shirt. It was like, imagine a U.S. flag where the avocado was where the stars would be and the bacon was the red and white stripes. Cute. So it was like the Republic of Keto, right? It's like,
it's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then grass-fed or organic butter or ghee. So ghee is simply clarified butter. So we like grass-fed and organic just to get rid of some of the extra chemicals because we're talking about the best possible foods. So like, what are the Cadillac foods on the keto diet?
I think that's a trademark term.
Yeah.
Grass-fed meats. So we're talking about, don't be afraid to have your fattier cuts, like those lean chicken breasts have kind of fallen out of favor here. If you're going to eat turkey, you can eat that nice ground brown turkey.
Yeah, the dark meat.
And your
a nice ribeye that's well marbled.
Yep. So that's always fun. This is probably your real true favorite, this next one.
Local small batch artisanal cheeses. So that's kind of my new favorite thing, is looking for responsibly farmed sustainable cheeses, because there's just so much factory farming of dairy, and there's a lot of additives and things that are in dairy that we just don't really want. So, and then raw nuts.
Raw nuts. So we were at the Pili Nut Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
We're at Metabolic Health Summit, and so we got to try some of their lightly flavored pili nuts. And
which are sprouted, I believe, too.
Yeah, and they are the most fat, dense nut. They're beyond macadamia nuts. They're like the keto nut, right?
So I say raw because most nuts are roasted with a highly inflammatory vegetable oil.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of them with soybean oil and canola oil. So what you find at your grocer is going to be roasted in some kind of a vegetable oil.
But you can roast your own nuts. All you need to do is toss them in a healthy oil. So I like to use avocado oil or MCT oil even, and just roast them at a low temperature. I mean, Google has tons of information about roasting your own nuts. Doesn't take that much time. It's easy to do. And then you can enjoy roasted and salted nuts, and you can use Redmond salt, which makes them even more delicious. You can enjoy them that way. So we tend to buy raw and roast them ourselves.
Our favorite flour, coconut flour, is next.
Yeah, coconut flour is our favorite keto-friendly flour because it contains some MCTs in it. So that's a benefit. It's a great source of fiber. A lot of times people on a ketogenic diet struggle to get fiber into their diet.
Or they're afraid of fiber because they think it's carb.
Yeah, so it's a healthy, good, whole food source of fiber.
Yep.
And it bakes really well once you learn the tricks around using it. So when Jeremy made chaffles today, he used, 2 teaspoons of coconut flour?
Yeah.
So it was like half of a cup of, you figured out cheddar's your favorite.
Yeah, cheddar was my favorite.
A large egg and 2 teaspoons of coconut flour.
That's about it.
And that was it. But it really changed the texture. So if you haven't tried that before, you might give that a try. And a little bit goes a long way with coconut flour.
So cauliflower and broccoli, besides Brussels sprouts, 2 of our favorite cruciferous vegetables because they're so versatile. Like cauliflower, rice cauliflower, whipped mashed potato cauliflower, broccoli can be riced.
With an avocado oil mayo is delicious.
Yeah,
you can rice
so
broccoli, you can roast broccoli. I mean, same with cauliflower. You can bake it so many different ways, flavor it so many different ways. They're some of our favorite keto-friendly foods. And then you just mentioned Brussels sprouts and cabbage.
Yeah, little baby lettuces.
Yeah, so baby cabbages, right? Yeah, so those, again, all these vegetables we just mentioned are great sources of whole food fiber that are important for health, for clearing out our intestines,
Yeah.
keeping things moving.
Yeah, and Brussels sprouts are a little bit higher in carbs, but we sometimes go ham on Brussels sprouts, and it's never knocked me out of ketosis.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts.
Unless I eat
which you can't. You can't. You
so
can't
filling.
just keep. Yeah, they're so filling. You can't just keep eating them. Wild caught salmon.
Yeah, there's this great company that your cousin introduced us to that farms. It's farmed salmon, but it's farmed in pens in like the oceans outside of Ireland or something like that.
And can you remember the name?
I don't know, but it was
Okay.
so good. They live in the ocean or whatever, something like that. They're
I'll
amazing.
have to ask him.
It's
Chef
good.
Ty. I'll have
Chef
to ask
Ty,
Chef Ty. Real olive oil.
Yeah, and olive oil from Italy is not the only real olive oil. It's just probably the easiest to verify. Like, it's easier to find the markings. It's easier to backtrack it to the actual company that made it. But there are some really good olive oils that are extra virgin, cold-pressed olive oils that are made in the U.S. In fact, when we were out in Davis, California, we saw a number of olive farms.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so olive oil is it's a great healthy fat and very ketogenic. And then we can't have a food list without listing low-carb berries, such as blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Of course, that's not an unlimited food. That's something you want to do in moderation. One of Jeremy's favorite treats is berries with some real whipped cream on top.
Yeah. It's my favorite because I can make it.
Yeah, it's fast, it's easy, and it's delicious. And every time I leave and go on a trip, I come home and there's whipped cream in the fridge, and because he's had a little treat.
Oh man, yeah. I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble if I do this, and I'm like, what? She's not gonna care.